we charge them rent? And I said, yes. And she says, well, how much? And I said, well, that's what the board would negotiate with.
Because that board has problems following what we have to do by a Durham and all. And we all knew this was coming, right? I mean,
No,
No.
I thought they could succeed on their own potentially.
really?
They absolutely, I've worked with her on a
I mean,
budget. They absolutely have the participation to be their own club. And guys, running a soccer club inside of a park district is not easy. It's just, that they have different things they're trying to do, and it's not a recreation program, is my point. And
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, if she's looking to leave, right?
she wants to become an affiliate. Yep.
She can't. That's part of the agreement, right? She has to give us so many days
Well,
notice.
no, but I think it'd be an affiliate, then she's.
That's not
talking
what
about
she's
like-
saying right now. She wants the opposite.
Being
Correct.
affiliated means that you can use the Elk Grove name, use our fields, like we had previously.
She
They were
yeah,
associated.
as a community group, she would get
But they would run
preferential
it, right.
field usage.
I get you.
So basically going back to where it was when,
Well, even a step further, because they would have their own insurance, we never really had true affiliates since George Lycos.
Right.
So this is going beyond that, back to like I'll call it SAA. That, we haven't had that since that, whole thing went down, and that was how many years ago?
I was there.
Yeah. I remember reading that article as a kid.
so since you put something in writing to us, I think we should give some direction, and I don't know if we need to vote or.
I just like, what do you want to do? Do you want me to work with her on creating that affiliate agreement?
My opinion is I don't wanna go back. We've already decided when we voted this thing in as far as, we're in the business to provide recreational sports. And that means no cuts, anybody can get in it. Then, for those where we have a travel program where it's more competitive, we have residency requirements that we feel are important. So going beyond that, to me, is not the business we're in. And if somebody wants to take and create an elite team, they can do that on their own, but we should not be part of that. So I'm not in favor of going back and reestablishing what we had in the past as far as that. But that's my thought. I don't know.
I'll just warn you, if you do work with her, it's gonna be a month of your time. Because it's never gonna be what you
We
want.
spent like
It's all right. No,
two
because-
years breaking away and bringing
Well,
it
no,
in-house
because
and setting this
they're
up.
out on their own. Get your own insurance and come back to us and rent the fields.
Just wait.
I know.
It'll be,
Well, we can't start from wanting to rent the fields.
no.
I don't know, I'm not in favor of them, and I tell her this all the time, of leaving, because people come and go,
Yeah.
and I don't want the program to die for the residents, and that's my biggest fear, the program's gonna die. I'd rather see it stay under the Park District umbrella, because we know it will be around. And when that person goes, then staff will find someone to run it, you know what I mean? That's just my biggest thing.
But they're not under umbrella right now.
Huh?
They're not under an umbrella right now. You
They're
said
not-
you don't want them to go, that
I
you
don't
want them
know.
to stay. They're not with us
But
right
that's one
now.
of the talks that she wants to leave the Park District because
Oh.
she feels, like she's restricted on certain things.
Well, she'd be even more restricted being one of our affiliates.
Right, I just don't want her to leave, that's my point. I don't want the program to leave. Her, I mean. it's
Well,
the
we'll
program.
always have a house program.
I'm talking travel.
But she's-
Exactly.
She's asking the travel program.
Well, I get that. Well, he says
Well, she can have a
I'm
travel
clarifying.
program, she has to meet our resident requirements.
that's different.
That's
I
the-
think that's travel baseball. She's not talking about the residency thing. Travel baseball was.
Well, that's part of running a club. It's
well,
not
I
usually
agree.
Not to follow.
So those two are on the, as far as I understand, travel baseball and travel soccer are on the same page regarding the residency policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of leads into the second. So
Well, let's do the
should-
soccer
what-
thing first. Before you go to the other.
Is it a no to
Well,
travel soccer? Or is it a
I'm
yes?
listening. Bob's a yes. Tom's a no. John, you were a no.
No, Bob said no. Stay there.
Stay.
All right. He's a stay. You're a leave or not
No.
come back.
He's staying.
Here's your hat, what's your hurt?
Who are you talking about?
I'm a
Tom
stay.
Cook.
Tom's saying
He
that.
doesn't want to go to affiliate agreement,
Agreed.
so he wants them to stay.
Right.
Right.
Right, but,
Or
okay,
leave. I mean, it's-
Well, Tom doesn't care if they want to leave and rent.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
right.
I can tell her that. I'll tell her that, but I guess let's go around the horn.
But staying means it's a participant program.
Yeah.
which means that there's residence requirements,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So she wants to move away from that, right?
No, that's just one piece. There's so many different things travel soccer clubs can do outside of Park District. It's how they spend, how they collect, just, it's a whole different game,
So I guess, can you come back with more information?
Maybe I don't understand what she's asking.
Yeah, I guess I don't
wants to
understand.
be-
It's become an affiliate. I thought she already was.
She wants to be travel football, soccer club, FC, whatever, and she wants to get a cut or a lower reduced rent payment, basically. Operate as her own entity, but be, I don't even know if you would say affiliated.
She wants the best of both worlds.
She wants to have her own insurance, her own operating guidelines, operate separate.
She can do
control
whatever she
their
wants to do.
funds, do all the registration, do everything on their own. But she
Marketing.
wants to rent the fields from us,
For nothing.
well, not only.
Very
but at a
discounted.
discounted rate.
It'll start
Yes.
at nothing.
50% is probably where she would even start, that's like 10 grand.
That's where you'll start. She'll ask for nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet.
I'm going with Tom Cook. I'm a no. No.
If a no is a
that's
stay,
three.
then I'm a no.
No, that's 4.
I'm confused, what am I?
You're a no.
You're a no stay.
Stays a program.
You're
So
not
that
asking
leads-
the program.
So that's, that's where I old business, but it kind of leads into my next one, travel baseball.
Right.
So travel baseball, I sent you that Mike Griffin's having trouble in one of his levels against the 11U and 8U. And he's asking for, I don't think he's asking for a permanent, but he's looking for some options. I said, Mike, there's no way they're gonna waive, because that's the first question I asked. You're not looking to waive our residency boundaries. He said, well, that would be nice. I said, well, that's not gonna happen. I said, I'll.
Even though that's what your email said,
Well-
that he's asking us to waive it.
Right, he's
Okay.
asking to waive it, I said, I don't think that's good, but I said, how about a compromise, let me, throw out 50%, because some of the age groups are at 50, but I think I talked to John Walls, I'm concerned about a slippery slope, once you start bringing in outside kids, it changes the program.
So
And
they're in that affiliation, there's a, hey,
What's up?
Since we don't have a monitor, we'll just tell you guys when you're live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we'll just tell you over the speaker.
That's fine.
Okay.
So just, sorry, so when we say stand by, try to be as quiet as possible,
Turn off your
just
microphone.
in case.
Sure.
Don't forget the car back.
so in the agreement, and I don't know if it's the latest one,
That's what I heard.
but it is written in there
Was
that
I
a
anything
team
rude?
can ask for lack of a better term, dispensation. They have to write a letter to Leisure Services, and you would have to say yay or nay. You, and I think it's even in there that there's like 3 of you that would review it, come back and say, yeah, it's legit, we've checked everything out, or no, you say we're live?
Yes.
It's on you, Tom.
Okay, let's call to order the regular scheduled meeting of the Elk Grove Park District for May 27th, 2021. Can we have a roll call?
President Cook,
Here?
Commissioner Bianchi,
Here?
Commissioner Carlson,
Here.
Commissioner Walsh,
Here.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Always last, Kathy, yep.
Okay, and due to the changes in the CDC requirements, our meetings are now open again, so I would not need to read a lengthy opening. So people, welcome to come back and come to our meetings live if you so choose. Okay, and item 3, I also want to announce that we're removing item 6E from the agenda. That will be updated and resubmitted next meeting. And I'd like to move to approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes, committee whole minutes and regular minutes of May 13th, 2021. Anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So-
You can't, you asked for a motion, so then you need the roll call. If you were asking for a voice vote, you would have just said aye, so you did. You asked for a motion, so then she should do a roll call once you had a motion and a second.
Sorry, say it again. Okay.
You wanted a voice vote, but you asked for a motion and a second, so we should be doing a roll call, in my mind, once you've
I
done.
believe you can still do
It could be a voice vote on the motion.
Yes.
We know that, but you asked for a motion and a second, that's all.
Yeah, so with the motion and second, we can still do a voice vote? Or does it have to be roll call? We lost time. Okay,
Do whatever you want.
Let's do a roll call and I'll
I'm a yes.
verify that for the rest.
Yes.
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 Oh, yes, okay. So I guess we're not gonna do a roll call. We just did it. 5-0 approved. Public communication, comments from the audience. We have no people from the audience, so no comments there. Any correspondence? Did the commission have any correspondence or staff? See none, okay. Next, we have a special guest here from Lauterbach and Amon for our 2020 audit review. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Brett Porter.
And we can't hear you, you're muted. Yeah, you're still muted.
He's unmuted, but the volume.
Okay, can we adjust? Hang on, we're having technical difficulties
Yeah, it
here.
would be hard to give a report if you can't hear them.
It's a
Oh, I
start.
wasn't hear Tom again.
Oh, I heard
Or
some.
there's some-
No, what's his first name?
Brad, can you say something? Nope, still got nothing.
Still can't.
You can phone in.
Someone in the meeting on that really quick.
The microphone, see, is that Matt?
No, that's for him.
This channel 60 will be able to see,
Should put an invite to my,
the viewers won't be able to see him. Just be able to hear.
Probably out here. If they log in,
Can he call in like Tom Hoff?
but no.
hang on, I'm gonna try to get on my computer.
Do you want to talk about your school you're on?
We stopped. So we either watch Channel 6.
Oh, so that's what Tom Hoffman's doing.
There we go.
Oh, that's not-
Brad, can you hear us? We can't
Can
hear
you
you
talk?
for some
We can't
reason.
hear you.
I got it.
Oh, there it is.
There's a speaker over there. Tiffany, put that speaker onto your phone,
The
computer.
microphone?
No, there's a speaker on the desk. See the speaker on the desk? Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
We're getting better.
This? Can I just put the microphone back next to my computer?
Yes. Just turn your mic on. You have one right in front of you.
Oh, it is on. You want me to screw my computer?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Brad.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Excellent. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. Well, it's great to see all of you again, albeit a little bit different circumstances. My name is Brad Porter. I'm here on behalf of Lauterbach and Naaman as the audit manager to present to you the results of your fiscal year 2020 audit process. I'd like to thank the board the opportunity to remote in here this evening. And before I begin, I'd like to thank those that played a very important role in getting this audit to the finish line. Brad, Kelly, and the finance team did a terrific job once again this year in ensuring that we had full access to all district files, maintaining a seamless line of communication throughout the entirety of the audit process. They were truly enjoyable to work with once again this year. The district's audit is always my first audit of each year, so it was great to get back into the swing of things with a team like that one. Before I begin, I'd like to note that there are 3 pieces of required communication that I'd like to discuss here this evening. The first of which is a 3-page letter that is on Lauterbach and Naaman letterhead. That is what we call our SAS 114 letter. So in accordance with Statement on Auditing Standard number 114, we are required to disclose whether or not we had any disagreements or difficulties that we had encountered with management throughout our audit process. And I'm very happy to report that within the body of that letter, you'll find no such disagreements or difficulties noted. Moving on, if you could please turn with me with your comprehensive annual financial reports to page 7. It is the thicker of the 2 bound documents. On page 7, you should see your Certificate of Achievement Award, which was issued once again for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2019. This award is ultimately issued to recognize those that have gone the extra mile as it relates to the financial reporting process. This is an award that's issued by the Government Finance Officers Association and represents the highest form of financial reporting excellence that any governmental entity can receive. So kudos to everybody involved in that process. These awards are always reported 1 year in arrears, so we'll be working with Brad and company on the application for the 2020 audit as well. Please turn to page 10 and 11. You'll again find the Lauterbach and Naaman letterhead here. This is what we call our independent auditor's report. These are 2 of the most important pages within your audit itself. Ultimately, this states what your responsibility is as management, which is to prepare and provide the financial statements to us as your auditors. We then go on to state what our responsibility is as your audit firm, which is to ultimately generate an opinion on the financial statements provided to us. So on the bottom of page 10, you'll find that opinions paragraph that I'm referencing. And you'll note that we've issued an unmodified opinion for fiscal year 2020, which states that we believe the financial statements are in good form, fairly presented, and that there are sound internal controls in place over the financial reporting function. Moving on to page 13, you'll find your management's discussion and analysis section. We understand that oftentimes the financial statements are very difficult to interpret and understand. GASB does a great job of throwing us some curveballs on that front. So I do encourage you as the board to read through this management discussion and analysis section at your leisure. It's going to really provide you with a great narrative summary of some of the fiscal year highlights from FY 2019 to FY 2020. I did want to point out just a couple key financial highlights as it related to fiscal year 2020. So if you could please turn with me to page 36. On page 36, you're going to find your fund level income statement for your general and recreation funds, which are typically the 2 funds that we focus on for the sake of our presentation. So for fiscal year 2020, there's a line in the middle of the page you'll find. It's called our excess of revenues over expenditures figure. That's a fancy term for our operating income for the year before any transfers or other financing sources and uses. So you'll find that our general fund showed a positive operating income of about $2.6 million for the year prior to the transferring of $3.9 million out to capital projects fund. So at 12/31/2020, our general funds fund balance had amounted to about $3.9 million. In addition, as it relates to the recreation fund, we had an operating loss for the year of about $400,000, with COVID obviously being the caveat to that. So the recreation fund ended the year at about $3.7 million. Moving on to the third piece of required communication, and that's what we call our management letter. Really, the primary purpose of our management letter is to convey any internal control recommendations or best practices that we see in the industry. I'm very happy to report we had no current recommendations as a result of our fiscal year 2020 audit process. Also happy to report that the two prior recommendations that were included in this letter for fiscal year 2019 have both been implemented in the current year. So in the status paragraph of each of those comments, you will find a statement indicating that these comments have been implemented and will not be repeated in the future. Obviously, the caveat of that being that, you know, in the first instance, we had the golf course fund not being in compliance with the district's fund balance policy for fiscal year 2019. That fund was in compliance for fiscal year 2020. So assuming we don't have any major fluctuation in the future, this comment will not be repeated. That second comment there pertained to 3 funds specifically being over budget for fiscal year 2019, debt service, audit, and social security funds. Again, all 3 of those funds were in compliance for the current year. So ultimately a very, very great job on the management letter front this year, implementing both of those comments. So, you know, another year in the books. Again, can't reiterate just how thankful I am to work with the team there at the district. So I'd be happy to field any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Did we receive any governmental reimbursements due to COVID? And if so, where are those reflected?
No, we did not. I guess our main gain from the COVID relief was our unemployment relief through the federal stimulus acts. We did not have to pay any unemployment due to 50% federal aid, and then the state of Illinois picking up the other 50%.
So that was paid directly to those individuals that we didn't have money coming in or going out?
Correct. We're a reimbursable employer as far as our unemployment, so we did not have to pay those fees. The federal government and state of Illinois picked it up. That's why we had we were preparing for that in case that was not the case. And the corporate fund is where we fund those liabilities and expenses. So we did not have to pay those. So thus we had a huge surplus.
And in the rec fund, it showed a $400,000 loss, and was that basically the COVID? I know we had anticipated about $500,000 when we were doing
Correct.
projections.
Yep. Program fees were down significantly. Obviously, a lot of facilities being closed, and
So it came in a little bit better than what we thought.
correct.
Yeah, Brad from Lauterbach, I have a question. When you're looking at the IMRF pension retirement system, do you go through Brad Scholes to get all your data, or do you have to also go to IMRF and get some information from them to make some of your calculations and recommendations?
Yes, there is actually a separate third-party actuary firm that works with IMRF directly to conduct all those actuarial evaluations. And upon completion of that valuation, it then gets uploaded to each respective employer portal. So we do request those documents from Brad, but there's really no data input, you know, from the district or anything like that. It's all generated. All of those figures come directly from the actuary report, which is completed by, I want to say it's Gabriel Rhodes is the firm that completes the IMRF pension reports.
Okay, and then, but you do have to review them and give your stamp of approval that all certain areas are being covered?
Correct. That data is ultimately pasted into our audit report in note 4. So that section begins on page, what is this here?
In the 60 area.
Page 61 of the audit, you'll find all of your disclosures pertaining to your actuarial evaluation. So we perform a set of, you know, basic analysis of this. I always highlight that IMRF is incredibly volatile as of December 31st each year. So it really, your liability is going to be contingent on how the market is doing at that point in time. So It fluctuates from one year to the next quite drastically. The district ultimately does a great job in terms of, meeting their annual employer contributions based on the defined rate by IMRF. So, as it relates to that, there's, the district has things under control on that front.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any of the commissioners have any other questions for Brad? Okay, well, thank you very much for your report, and I guess we'll move on to our item 6A for approval of the 2020 comprehensive annual financial report.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, Brad. So
Thanks,
need a mo-
everybody. Really appreciate your time this evening.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
So moved.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes. Got that figured out, okay. Okay, next item, item 6B, acceptance of a bid from Co-EO Solutions of Downers Grove for WAN services for a 3-year term in the amount of $4,428 per month over 3 years, or for 3 years.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Do we have any discussion?
To Brad Scholes, how confident are you that over a 3-year term, somebody else doesn't provide or could provide something better?
So the reason we did a 3-year term is basically we're trying to test out our wireless WAN in that system. That's one of the capitals for this year. We'll be starting to do that. By the end of that 3-year term, we will be having an answer if that's gonna be able to happen or not. This is actually about $800 lower than what we're currently paying. So we're getting, I think, what Dustin say, about 25 times the speed. So we're very happy with the price. And they were significantly lower from our other providers that we got proposals from.
Okay.
And they're also our contractor for our phones as well. So,
Any other questions? Okay, did we vote on this yet? No. Roll call. We had a motion and a second, right?
Yes.
Do we have a roll call?
Not yet.
How about a roll call?
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes. Okay, next, item 6D, approval of payment application number 1 from Tro McNeil.
You skipped one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure Williams wants to get paid. I'm sorry. Item 6C, approval of pay request 20 from Williams Architect for professional services and construction, administration of the golf course, clubhouse, and maintenance facility in the amount of $17,664.74.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, questions or discussions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes. Okay, now, item 6D, approval of payment request, application number 1 from Trock McNeil Paving Company for services and material for Rainbow Falls Inline Rink renovation project in the amount of $25,200.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
and this is for the
Resurfacing.
bocce,
Yeah, resurfacing.
not bocce,
pickleball.
Pickleball.
any questions?
Did it go to bid or they just came through?
It went to bid.
Okay.
Yeah, they were a little bid.
It's
So
almost done, right?
Yeah, they're gonna color coat next week. So depending on the weather looks like it's dipping, so it's gonna take a little longer to dry.
Okay, great.
How many courts?
6 pickleball courts.
I told somebody 9, so I was wrong.
Close.
It was fairly close.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes. Okay, item 6E, approval of, we took
Yeah,
E
right.
off there. We'll table that to next week. Okay, committee reports, capital projects. Commissioner Cook, and I have no report. Unless you wanna give, I'll let you update the golf course.
Hey, thanks for
Capital. Finance committee, Commissioner Walls.
All right, maiden voyage here. Kudos to Ralph for doing this all these years. Cook County has extended the deadline to May 3rd, 2021 for our first installment of property taxes, and it was kind of similar to last fall, so collections have caught up as of May 20th and are on pace with our budget. The corporate fund, all expense categories are under budget except for capitals due to the Perry weather system. Net year-to-date of 1,712, or excuse me, is that a million? Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
1,712?
1.7 million, yeah.
Okay, 1.7 million compared to budget of 1.406. All expense categories for recreation fund are under budget. Net year-to-date, 672,000 compared to a budgeted of 463,000. And then the golf fund, driving range, net year-to-date is 23,779, compared to a budgeted loss of 6,507, $6,507, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's like a unbelievable banner year, and it's only May. And a net loss of 38,000 compared to a budgeted loss of 23,000. So that last number, Brad, is the golf course, right?
237,000,
Oh,
yes.
I got you. 38,000 compared to 237. Okay. I'd ask if there were any questions, but this is my first time, so no questions. That's the end of my report.
Okay, fantastic.
I do have one comment, though.
You can comment.
No, because I want Ben to hear this, I want staff to hear this, it's important to me. As part of the finance report, for the first time in my 20 years, the fitness center lost money. We had more expenses than revenue, and I'm making sure that everybody understands that's not acceptable to me, hopefully it's not acceptable to the board. So Ben, it's a challenge to you and your staff. I don't care if it's the marketing department, your managers, the rec managers, I don't care who you choose. I'm not gonna stand by and watch our number one venue lose money. That's not why we build things, that's not how we manage things. COVID, Planet Fitness, I don't care, we need to come up with a plan. And if I see numbers like this, then we'll get together as a group and figure it out. But that's all I wanna say when I looked at the finance report.
So quick sidebar on that, just to give you some context. There was a large purchase for towels that hit in April of approximately $12,000. All that 1 month, so that's switching from towel service to the now provided towel for the patrons. So that skewed it a little bit, but yes.
What towel provided for the patrons? Because the rumor is that we're not going back to the towel business. Staff would have to make that determination, the towel, you know. So we'll be bringing in our own towels to use the shower area, but are you talking about the one that's like a hand towel?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, they purchased them for all members and started passing them out on Membership Appreciation
blue
Day
ones.
on May 4th, correct.
Okay, along those same lines, I've had some discussions with Ben already, about this topic, because we all know that, activity and the membership is down at the fitness center, largely due to COVID, also the competition that's out there, and that we need to really focus on that business as to getting those people back, and whatever that might take. And so I know Ben is doing some marketing analysis, as well as he's gonna be supplying the board with no less than a monthly report on the membership results. We used to get it previously, and then we stopped getting them when, I don't know why we stopped getting them, but probably because it was doing fine before COVID. But we're gonna get those reports again. It's gonna show membership and what staff is doing, what ideas they're coming up with to increase our membership there. Yeah, I agree with Bill 100%. And it's not just the money, it's that if we have a great facility, a great fitness center, we want our residents to be using it. We want it to be available. So whether it's affordability, whether it's a masking and COVID issue, whatever we need to bring them back now and open it back up and get back to where we were post-COVID, That's my goal and the staff's goal, I know. So they will be reporting, we'll be hearing more on this on an ongoing basis. It's not one of Ben's, top of his list, okay.
And I think, Brad, to offer something to that, yeah, I think that one sheet was important to the commissioners because there's a lot of great breakdowns, you know, between employee usage and part-timers and non-residents and that. But if I think I'm correct that there was a disconnect. Programs changed when Claire was leaving and Rachel was starting and she couldn't get something together with membership services. And then it was like, you went from one type of accounting system where that was Claire's line, like, I can't switch, they just switched software or hardware on me. But at some point, Tom's right, we've got to be able to see this report. I mean, I think it's a good visual for us to see where areas should be concentrated
And
on.
I think anything's open on the table, so Ben, if he hasn't talked to you yet, will be, about coming up with ideas to market it. And I know we've had other discussions about, do we stay with the all-inclusive package, or do we break it down where you can get a fitness and a swim pass separate, or different amenities separated out, a la carte? We may have to have those discussions again. Or is it just COVID? Now we're getting everybody back. Now we can take your mask off. I don't know. But I would just say anything's on the table to get membership back to where it was. And so you guys are the experts, and but we want to be involved and aware of what we're doing to move that forward. So we'll see.
That was it on the finance. That's the only thing that stood out for me that I felt was warranted a conversation.
No worries.
Any other comments? Okay, Committee of the Whole. Committee of the Whole met tonight. We discussed a few items here. One was Salt Creek Stabilization Project that we're planning on doing along Morton Park. That will have steps going down to the creek, help stabilize the creek, and also allow for fishing for our residents there. We just had discussions on J.C. Park. It's going to be an outstanding, we're spending almost $500,000 at J.C. Park to renovate that park there. So it's really going to be an upscale, awesome park when it's done this summer. And Ben presented the different equipment that's going to be on there. You'll be seeing that. The residents in the area, I believe, they've already met and looked at the equipment that's going to go there. So it's going to be a fantastic project that when it's completed. We also in old business discussed request for soccer. I guess wanted to go out and have an affiliate, start an affiliate with Elk Grove. The board's decision was that we're going to stay with what we currently have. If they want to create their own affiliate, they can obviously look to rent our fields, but we're going to keep the programming in-house and keep it the way it is at this time. There was a discussion with Travel Baseball regarding some residence requirements on a few teams. They are going to be, staff is going to be looking at it under our exception policy that we have to allow for 50% the resident requirement, minimum 50% resident requirement, and no Elk Grove residents cut for a 1-year period.
Did you say what age groups?
What
9U and 12U for the
9U.
21, 22 season.
and 12U, okay. And that will be for, when was the time period for the 1 year?
The tryouts are at the end of the summer and it goes through the following July.
Okay. And we also advised the board that we met with the new pastor at QR. They are going to allow parking in their parking lot, or open their gates. We had some preliminary discussion.
They're gonna consider it.
They're going to, I'm sorry, you're right, they're going to consider it. But we updated the father on our prior discussions regarding use of the parking lot. He seemed very favorable to wanting it to be a open campus, good neighbors, have it open there. So he's going to look and talk to his committee, his board, and there'll be more discussions. They're going to come back to us, and we'll have more discussions on that in the future. but just an FYI for the board on that. We also discussed new cameras, additional cameras that we are gonna add to the budget, due to some recent vandalism we had. And there's, I think, how many, 3 to 5? How many cameras additional?
Oh, let's not tell the public.
Okay, we won't. I'm not gonna tell them where they are. But additional, let's put it this way, additional new
And here's how you
cameras.
turn them off.
Additional new cameras due to some security concerns in a few of our facilities. And I think that was it. Was there anything else? Okay. That's all we covered in the committee of the whole. That's my report. Any questions? Did I miss something?
You didn't miss anything, but I want to at least remind the public that at the previous committee of the whole, which sometimes that will update 2 committee of the wholes, that whole discussion when we had Mayor Johnson here, and it was Ralph's last meeting, pretty much was about the mask policy. So I do want to let everybody know that, you know what, masks are optional now at our fitness center and probably 100% of our facilities.
Vaccinated.
If you've been vaccinated.
Fully
Yeah, if
vaccinated.
you've been vaccinated, so.
Right.
Feel comfortable, and we've got tons of signage out at all our facilities.
Okay. Athletic committee, Commissioner Bianchi.
So, June is quickly approaching, the weather will be getting nicer outside, so, you'll see as you're driving around town, you'll see a lot of our fields in use, throughout, Elk Grove, which is great to see, so stop and watch a game. We recently, installed the new, scoreboards at Audubon, and I know the teams that are using those fields are extremely excited, it is a nice feature over there. So, thank you for that. And then, cheer and football are having their second fitting. That will be on June 26th. So that more information will be coming out. So if you're in cheer and football, check the website, social media, or contact the football cheer league if you have any questions. And if there's anything else, Tiffany, that concludes my report. Unless there is.
Okay. No questions? This is report. Golf course committee, Commissioner Walls.
Yep, golf course is in full swing. We've had some record months at the driving range and at the course. Weather always helps that. The course is in unbelievable shape. If you haven't been to Fox Run in a while, I'd put our greens up against just about any country club in this area, maybe other than Butler National, because Jeremy and his crew have done an unbelievable job. And it's a fun 18-hole play. And it's affordable too. Everybody's been asking, and I'm sure some of us have been asked, we will not have a second level at the Fox Run new clubhouse. I get asked that 2 times every time I'm there. It looks like it, but we're not going to. But that project is moving extremely quickly. I'm not allowed to guess how quickly we're moving, but we're moving quickly. I don't want to jinx it.
Substantial completion, November 15th.
I would bet a lot of money prior to that, but knock on wood. Yeah, we're just kind of starting out in the middle of the season. Course is great. All the leagues are going. And all our patrons have been really acceptance with where the carts are staged and stored. It's a little bit of a kind of a fiasco headache, but it was the best we could humanly do with the footprint that we have. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Youth committee, Commissioner Bianchi.
So, we are going to be meeting as a committee with the village and the Park District Committee, which is made up of John Walls and myself. And we're going to be looking over all the scholarship applications and make a decision. As soon as I have know the winners, I will communicate that out to those families. And I will also email the Park District, Park Board, and I'll also email staff, and I'll also email the foundation staff regarding the winners, and then we'll determine a date of our next board, when we have a board meeting, and invite them to receive their scholarship funds. So that'll be coming, so more information coming.
And do we have, how many applicants were there this year?
So I did not open my packet yet, just received
15.
it, but I think it was 13 as when I was talking,
It came out 15,
15. So
which is still less
it's
than usual.
very small. Usually, we get anywhere between, I think, 23 to, I think we've had 28 is typically range we fall in.
Yeah.
So this is very less. And I'm surprised with COVID, I thought we would have seen an increase this year, but we didn't.
Okay, sounds great. There's pretty good odds of getting one then, if you submitted one. Okay, adult, senior, Sheila Ray Center Committee report. The only thing I had to report is I want to remind everybody, we have our grand opening at the Haddendorf Park facility there for the new amenity on June 12th at 10 a.m. It goes until noon, I think. There'll be refreshments and all kind of goodies, maybe goodie bags. So come on out and check out the new equipment and new walking paths and the setup there. It's really turned out nice. And that ends my report.
Can I add one thing, Commissioner Cook?
You certainly can.
President Cook? Usually, historically, the president does not chair a committee, but I think the rest of the board's in agreement that you should continue chairing the Sheila Ray Center or the Adult Center based on your availability and our inavailability. So please consider that you're the best choice for that, even though historically it hasn't been done. That's all.
Yeah, and I have no problem doing that. I enjoy it over there, and it's, yeah, I have no problem doing that. Okay, item 8, old business. Do you have any old business? Old business, like old business. New business, we need to adopt ordinance number 420, an ordinance authorizing and directing the sale of transfer and conveyance of certain used personal property.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions? And Ben, do we know what this is? There's some Toro mowers?
Yeah, we're going to auction on some of our grounds equipment. We get much better value from an auction than we do trade it in.
Okay. So this
So
will be,
those are guesses on the
Yeah,
value?
yeah.
Okay.
okay. Sounds good. Any other questions? Can we have a roll call, please? Kelly?
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes?
Commissioner Walls?
Yes?
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes.
Before you go, and I just,
Sure.
during new business, I would just like to take this time, it's May, and I'd just like to thank the preschool center, their staff. What a wonderful job they did this year with the students, the preschoolers. Really appreciate all the hard work, especially during the remote time with the COVID and all that. But we really appreciate everything that you do with those kids over there, and I'd like to congratulate, if you have a preschooler that is moving on, graduating, congratulations to them. So, nice job, and thank you for all your work.
Okay, thank you.
I have one thing that Commissioner, or President Cook reminded me of. Memorial Day observance will be held Monday, May 31st at 10:45 a.m. at the Pavilion. It's put on through Elk Grove Village and VFW Post 9284, and the auxiliary invites all of you to attend. It's a great event, so stop by the Pavilion on Monday at 10:45 for the Memorial Day observance.
Okay. Any other new business? Okay, number 10, payment of the bills. Need a motion for approval of payment of the bills for May 13th, 2021, in the amount of $81,426.21. For May 14th, 2021, for P cards, in the amount of $102,652.87. And on May 20th, 2021, in the amount of $1,161,867.96.
So moved as presented.
Second?
Okay, motion was moved and seconded. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes?
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes. And lastly, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Walls,
Yes?
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes, Kathy?
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes, this meeting is adjourned.